This week on the Unpopular Opinion Show. So, as we celebrate, let us do this.
Let's just stake claims to things that you have no control over.
Go grab some more of them by the pussy and just move on, right? I'll be the asshole to say it. I recommend every dude does that.
I'm trying to be measured in what I say and how I say this.
Fair enough. I'm not. Oh my God, it's been 11 years and I still live in fear.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't care if you personally hit Candace Owens and her stanky
Cray.
No good thing starts with, I was thinking about my ex.
He ain't learned his lesson. That's a brother ain't gonna learn shit.
I know this is gonna be unpopular and I don't care.
Let's keep this shit funky.
Yes, y'all. What's happening, and welcome to another episode of the Unpopular Opinion Show. I go by the name of the Natural Disaster T-Storm. And my brother from another mother, DJ Mike Swift, is here also. What's happening, brother?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. The news is out.
Yeah.
The word is in.
Okay, but first off, because I text Mike earlier this week, right? Because we're not doing this live. It's live on tape, and what you get is what you get, right? And so we kind of have to forecast what may be happening by the time you hear this. So last episode, when we had Tracy Braxton on, you may want to go check out that episode 19. We were forecasting that we wouldn't know who the president was because we were recording beforehand. Who would have thunk that by the time the episode dropped, nobody would know until just now. Today, we're recording this on a Saturday, and as we were signing on, as we were getting set up, the news organization started calling the race for Joe Biden. So congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So by the time you hear this, who knows what would have happened by then? Because the the prediction was that Trump wouldn't accept the results, and he was going to be. He even actually went on and made a crazy statement saying there were fraudulent votes and the counting must stop and this and that. I would have won if it would have done. I won, and these votes are coming out of no. Dude, oh my God, and
I don't think anybody's surprised by that, right? And I think he was laying the sore loser defense in the beginning, right? So if I come out, like if I'm Trump and I come out and I say, oh, well, there's fraudulent votes and it's all kinds of voter suppression and everything happening in Georgia, because I think that was one of the allegations. If he loses, then he can say it was taken from me. If he wins, then he can say, I won in spite of that bullshit. So it was a win-win position for him to take.
Yeah. It's just weird. This is just weird. And people are just calling him out. Like, I love Ari Melber of MSNBC. Mm-hmm. He puts things in perspective, you know what I'm saying, and breaks things down, even relating hip hop lyrics to the news. And, you know, I'm going to just let Ari say it, because basically you see what the numbers are. I mean, Biden was able to win Georgia. Basically, he won Georgia. His numbers came up in Georgia. Numbers came up in Pennsylvania. And it cut him at the knee. So basically, he was already winning. The numbers kind of speak for itself. But again, Ari Melber of MSNBC will say it much better.
Pennsylvania officials stating that even if Trump were to prevail on the law, an outcome that might even be hard to imagine, he would still lose because of the number of people who voted against him. To paraphrase Sean Carter, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Love it.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Yeah.
It was goddamn close in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think last time I checked the count, because look, at a certain point, it just became the source of anxiety. So I just said, it's going to be what it is. And I stopped paying attention. But I get news alerts on my phone. So I kept getting alerts for Georgia. And the last time I looked, it was like 4,100 votes separating them.
Wow.
4,100. Now you think about that. That is half of a really great concert. Right? So,
Right.
I mean, that's just to put it into perspective how if 4,000 people thought differently, that would have turned Georgia for him. And that could have meant the election.
Right.
So as we celebrate, let us do this.
But at the same time, for Biden, he already kind of had it in the, well, I won't say he had it in the bag. He had way more paths to win. You know,
Yeah.
What was it, Arizona and Nevada? With those two alone, he would have won. But Pennsylvania sews it right up. Georgia, and he could have won with just Georgia and Arizona. He could have won with, you know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, Trumpet needed Pennsylvania and 3 more to be able to win. So he was already lost, to put it mildly, as Sean Carter said.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
So he lost. Lost, man. There was say again?
Did you see what John Legend was doing?
Georgia? Doing what? The singer?
No. Yeah, no, John Legend, the singer. So before everything had been completely tallied, Trump came out and claimed victory. He claimed victory early.
Oh,
So
yeah.
John
Hereby claim. John was like, yo, let's everyone try that. Let's just state claims to things that you have no control over. I saw somebody said, I hereby claim all of John Legend's catalog.
One dude said, I hereby claim I'm the sexiest man alive. I thought that was hilarious.
That's funny, man. Yeah, no, we have some fun with this, but I'm hopefully the nightmare is over. I mean, the work begins, but we have a long time between now and January 20th. Who knows?
Well, I mean, look, I think it's obvious that he's going to contest it. He's going to call for a recount. He's going to kick up dust, and we'll be in this state of political ambiguity, for lack of a better description, probably into December, right? Which it's not uncommon for political candidates to call for recounts. I don't know how common it is in the presidential election. I can't speak on that, but I know on the local level, it happens all the time. People call for a recount for whatever reason. So politically, it's not uncommon. Presidentially, I'm not sure.
I mean, and for it to be a close race, I guess that's fair to want to recount just to make sure. But that's not the place dude is coming from. He's not.
Hey, it's not the place. So it's not the place where he's coming from. And here's why I think, because I think if anybody's been watching this show long enough, they would say, oh, Mike is in favor for a recount. But I'm not, actually. And here's why. We have lost the respect of the world, right? Over the past 4 years, our political system, our bureaucracy, our government, we've lost the respect of the world. One of the few things about our process that has been consistent and admirable is a quick, peaceful, unencumbered transition of power.
Mhm.
The more you drag this out, the worse we look on the world stage, in my opinion. The numbers support that he lost. So just transition to power, move into the next phase of your life, go build some more hotels, go grab some more of them by the pussy, and just move on, right? Like, just you win some, you lose some. You lost this one, transition and move on.
And, that, and then there's been floating the possibility or the idea that he may run again in 2024.
It's possible.
And it's very possible. Legally, he can, right? I just think it will be kind of hard to do that from prison. I'm curious to what kind of campaign he will be able to mount from the penitentiary. And it won't be
not going to put him in jail.
New York State Penitentiary. Pound your ass penitentiary. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out for him. He'll be the first. He'll be the first former president to actually go to prison.
They'll never put him in prison.
Okay.
It'll never happen. I think they might bring him up on some kind of charge of something, but they're never going to put him in prison.
Listen, Kwame Kilpatrick thought that.
Fair enough.
Kwame Kilpatrick thought he would never go to. They'll never lock. No, he locked his black ass up. He's about to get out soon, but he went to jail for all that he did. Now, granted, that's a black man. There's some white supremacy stuff that, you know, he's not privy to. I get that, but I think the hatred New York has for Trumpet, it's not going. I mean, he moved. He changed residence. He's not a resident of New York anymore. He's in Florida officially.
Yeah. Pack your shit and run. I would do that shit too.
I mean, it's like they're not going to extradite him. Come on now, that's Florida. You ain't going to Cuba. He's nowhere in the world.
I mean, just on some walk in the streets type shit, right? If you that much hate it in a state, in a city or whatever, you can't just be walking the streets.
Yeah, get the hell on. Well, yeah. I think they'll be waiting for him. I mean, January 21st, we'll hear some stuff. You know, it'll be bubbling the whole time. He's already what is it? Unnamed was it co-defendant?
Co-conspirator?
He's already like unindicted co-conspirator, or some along them lines.
Okay.
Been a couple of different cases. Especially the case with his former lawyer, Michael. Oh shit! What's the boy name that went to jail? Cohen. Is it Cohen? Cohen.
Is it
Michael Cohen? His former lawyer that wrote the book. Michael Cohen. Yeah.
Michael Dean Cohen.
Whole government. Yeah. So in the case. That's what's happening. So by the time I'm curious to know where this is going to be, you know, in a week. I suspect that people will just move on and let him gab his gums and whatever, you know, there's a recount. There'll be a recount. Okay, fine. And what other frivolous lawsuits he'll file will get dismissed again. And, you know, I think he
already tried to file one for Georgia, and Georgia was like, nah, bruh, go.
Okay. Fuck out of here, bro. What you doing? And the same in Pennsylvania. I'm sure he's gonna file lawsuits but I mean, it brings me comfort to know that Rudy Giuliani is his attorney. So
how did he go from being one of the most liked politicians, one of the biggest symbols of organization, discipline, and power in the U.S. following the 9/11 attacks to what he is now? How?
I'll cue you in on a secret. New York, especially black and brown people in New York, didn't like him in the first place. He was always racist. In fact, if you look back, a lot of those really violent assaults on black men and by police happened on his watch. Amadou Diallo that was killed, that was shot in the Bronx 41 times for reaching for his wallet. That happened on his watch. Amnu Louima that was sodomized by police with a broomstick or a plunger. It was a plunger.
The plunger handle.
That happened on Giuliani's watch. So all those things, happened on his watch. You get what I'm saying? So the 9/11 thing was a saving grace, was like kind of a Hail Mary. It just kind of happened while he was, because I believe it was election day. It was around election. I can't remember if I remember correctly,
September,
but
early mid-September.
He was on his way out of office. Excuse me. Any case, he wasn't really liked in the first place. It's just the 9/11 thing put him on the world stage favorably. Yeah. And he's kind of held on to that. Every time you see him, he mentions 9/11. So he just, see who he really is.
Fair enough.
Mike, I'm gonna have to pause for 2 seconds and go get something because I'm choking like hell right now.
Choking to death.
Folks, pardon me 1 second while I go get something so I don't choke on camera. Hang on. All right.
Welcome back, sir.
All right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
You start feeling that weird tickle in the back of your throat.
That's what she said.
Oh man. Any case.
That's what Jaguar Wright said to Common.
Ooh. I don't know how to respond.
Allegedly.
There you go. Oh man. So you mentioned the story about Mel B, formerly known as Scary Spice.
Mm-hmm. Now she's scary baby mama. So many of you may not remember her and Eddie Murphy hooked up. Like, what was it, 2009? It might have been longer ago than that. I don't know. But they had a child. They were, I don't know if they ever married, but they were together. They had a kid. Shit didn't work out. And they separated. She moved on. And of course, child support.
I'll add because I remember I remember a little bit of this. At one point, I think Mr. Murphy didn't believe it was his child. He contested, he wanted to make sure he had to do a paternity test to make sure that it was his kid. He was denying it was his kid.
I recommend every man does that.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'll be the asshole to say it. I recommend every dude does that. She's going to be angry with you for a long time after you talk about it and or do it. But look, nowadays it's essential. But either way, they have a 13-year-old daughter now. Child support was set at Mel B was given physical custody back in 2009. Eddie Murphy was ordered to pay $25,000 a month in child support.
25,000
a month.
Jesus.
Now, let's put that in perspective. That a month is more than what some people make a year. My first 9 to 5 in television was about that much.
Wow.
For a year worth of work. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what she's currently being paid. Now she's taking him back to court to ask for more because her financial situation has changed. Essentially, she ain't making the money she was making. Her brand and her fame ain't netting her what it was netting her before. So she's taking him back in for more child support.
Wow.
Something ain't right about that.
I mean, is she struggling or is she just like not doing what she should have been doing with the money in the first place?
So I don't know, but let's examine this from a critical thinking standpoint.
Okay. Because that, I mean, I'm trying to be measured in what I say and how I say this.
Fair enough. I'm not.
So she was awarded $25,000 a month for child support.
Yes. Since 2009.
Since 2000.
So that's been 11 years. You've been getting $25,000 a month for 11 years.
I mean, let's just keep it at, for that year. That's 12 months in the year. That's $300,000 for the year. So $300,000 every year for 12 years is what she's been getting for child support for one child. I don't know if she has children.
Well, if she has other children, he's not responsible for paying for those. So that award is only for the one.
What is her? What are your expenses? You know what I'm saying? I would say most people would agree $300,000 for the year is enough to sustain a whole family for a year. There's a lot of people that do it on way less. To Mike's point, $25,000 for the year. What the and I mean, and that's not saying that's a whole lot of money, but I'm just saying, for a year. But good Lord.
And look, I'll get even more personal to give it more perspective. When my daughter was born, it was me, my kid's mother, my son, who is not my biological child, but he is my son.
Right.
And my daughter. So it was 4 of us. She wasn't working. So I had a mortgage, a car note, grocery, gas, power, water, light, all of that stuff, diapers, milk, everything on she got in 2 months. So what she's paid in 2 months is what I was making annually, taking care of a family of 4.
Yeah, I guess again, what is her like? Why is, and that's not even saying the money that she's making for herself that she's already making. That's not even counting that. Just off of child support, that's $300,000 for the year.
$3.3 million for 11 years. That's and wait a minute. Child support is not taxed. Because I was about to say that's before taxes. Yeah, that's not taxed.
Yeah, that seems ridiculous. But of course, I'm sure she will. Her lawyers or whoever will argue expenses have risen, and the price of cornflakes is more than it was 5 years ago.
Them $10,000 cornflakes, man.
Yeah, I mean, and she don't use regular milk with her gold flakes. I mean, I get it, but nah, that's crazy. No.
Look, it's so ridiculous. It's okay. Your financial state is not my responsibility. So that's my first take on it. If you are sole physical custody parent, right? And the other non-living in the home parent, because my words are escaping me right now, is not a
Custodian.
Rapist, abuser, predator, otherwise horrible human being.
Right.
If your ability as the custodial parent to financially provide for that kid is impeded and you can't do it, why can't the answer be go to the custodial parent that can, instead of saying, okay, Mr. Human teller machine, bank machine, give her more money because she can't take care of herself. The $25,000 that I'm kicking out every month is more than enough to take care of my kid. You being able to take care of yourself is your problem.
Right. And what was again, goes back to what was her lifestyle before she had the kid? Before they had
changed her damn lifestyle.
That's the point. People make adjustments. Look at 2020. A lot of people had to change what they were doing because of COVID and some people weren't working as much or not working at all, or what. You have to kind of figure it out and change your lifestyle to meet so you can survive. Not, I ain't got it. I know he got it. Let me go get it from him. That's crazy. Hey, man, I'm of course. They say there's three sides to the story: her side, his side, and the truth. I'm curious though, what would the judge say? Like, candidly, like, prove. Basically, he's going to tell you have to prove to me why you need this. If it was like, I couldn't be the judge because I'd probably say some shit right there. Like,
I would too. I'd be like, wait a minute. You want how much more?
Let me get this right. You were working before you had a baby. You had to stay home. You work, okay. Let's assume that she has any other children. You're providing for them, or maybe not. She doesn't have any other children. Okay, fine. No other children. You have one child with Mr. Murphy. He's been awarded $25,000 a month. That works out to $300,000. Is not taxed. You can take care of your mortgage. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Next.
Oh, so, but no, right? It gets a little bit worse because it's $25,000 a month plus health care, health insurance, medical, dental, visual.
Okay.
And any related costs to health, as well as educational fees. So she can't even come and say, she's in private school and I can't afford, but he's paying for that.
All of that. Yeah. It's a shame. And I'm going to make a statement that some women may get mad about, but hey, this is the Unpopular Opinion Show. So here you go. I find that, and most brothers will agree, a lot of women rephrase that. There are some women that run to get child support because they need it. And the non-custodial parent, the father, whatever, may not be kicking in anything at all or not enough or whatever the case. And so you can't settle it amongst yourself. You say, all right, fine, we'll just have a judge do it. And that happens. And that's fair, right? Men are not usually happy about that, but it is what it is. But then there are some women that, despite no matter what the non-custodial father may be doing, it's just a matter of getting back. The relationship didn't work. I'm mad. You got that bitch around my kid? Nah, fuck that. Pay me.
Ooh, 7 years before I can talk. 7 years before I can speak truthfully.
Bitch around my kids. You know,
Look.
what I mean, it's unfair. And you know, and honestly, you know who really suffers? The child. Kid ain't want to be here. He ain't asked to be here. Kid is like, yo, I just want to watch cartoons and eat Fruit Loops. What, you know, what that?
Look, I'm 47 and I still just want to watch cartoons and eat Fruit Loops.
You know? Oh man, no, it's a shame. It's a shame. I have to. I've been fortunate where I don't really. I had custody of my sons, from my previous relationship, my older sons, and as a caveat, I made it very clear, you know, baby mama, I said, I don't need your money. Not because I had it, but I know I could get it. And it was a better situation. And it was like, yo, I'm not trying to, I didn't go for child support, at least not initially, until she kept taking me to court and having me pay for shit that I had to keep paying for a lawyer to go to court. Then I was like, I fuck it, maybe you need to pay some child support. And then, you know,
you got too much free money and free time.
and once I did that, then all the frivolous court cases stopped. By the way, it's like, oh, okay, you wasn't playing. But you know, I feel for brothers, man. I feel for the brothers that go through that shit, man. It's not cute. It's not fun. Court in general is not cute, and it's really not for us. We rarely come out on.
I have been, so I now define myself as red pill. And I think we've talked about it a little bit on the show. I think on the first episode, we touched on red pill and MGTOW, and we never really dug into it and the whole manosphere and that stuff. And I'm going to try to find somebody who's far more qualified to talk about it than I am to come on the show and talk about it.
Famous terms. In a quick snippet, can you explain in what exactly red pill is, and all these about what red pill is?
Oh, I saw my text go off. I was like, for a second, I thought we were live, and I was like, oh shit, is that my baby mama?
God damn it.
Oh my God, it's been 11 years and I still live in fear.
Oh man.
In a nutshell, the manosphere is just the arena in which men talk about men issues and things that affect us outside of what affects women, and how what affects us affect women, right? It's just us, our suicide rate, our lack of education rate, our declining rate of men entering colleges, our declining rate of men graduating college, those things. That's just broad strokes manosphere. Broad strokes red pill is kind of an homage to the Matrix. Blue pill or red pill. Blue pill, right. You stay in the Matrix and you live your life in this kind of enslaved mental state. Red pill is you take it, you get out of the Matrix, and you try to operate in real life. You try to operate as much as you can outside of the Matrix. That's in relation to relationship, your finances, your personal development, growth goals, all of that. It's here's what the world says you are supposed to do and supposed to be. Fuck that. Go be this. And don't do it from a chaotic anarchist mentality, but from a personal growth and development mentality. And then you get MGTOW, which is just those guys. It's men going their own way, who just in a nutshell have looked at relationships and marriage and bonding with women. And they say, fuck it, I'm out. Um, so I think I was MGTOW for a while, but I just like women. I mean, I had to be very honest with myself. I cannot live my life and not engage with women. So I'm more red pill than anything. So as it relates to the Mel B thing, there are a lot of red pill dudes who just in general do not agree with the concept of child support. I'm not that guy. I am the guy who started the child support action against myself. I am the guy who believes that if I birth a child, it is 50% my responsibility to provide for that child, period. Whether she's an asshole, whether she's an angel, that's my responsibility because I was 50% responsible for bringing him here. Right. In situations like this, though, this is just egregious, right? Like it underscores why dudes are afraid to get married because you become a teller machine. How insane is it that she, in good conscience, is filing an action to get more than what she's getting because she can't provide for herself anymore? Walmart hiring. I'm just saying.
Right. I mean, yeah. And then what's the what's the page old girls women are doing now? We talked about it last week too.
Oh boy. My brain is frozen.
Yeah, I can't even think of the shit. But the OnlyFans. Yeah, sorry.
Oh. You said Mel B could do it. She's still kind of good looking though. I mean,
OnlyFans, you know.
If Lisa Ray can do it.
I'm saying, like, you know, but I mean, who knows? I think it kind of comes off. She mad. She's still mad, and who knows what happened between them two for Eddie Murphy to go. I don't know if that kid mine. Like, who knows what happened?
But see, I don't think anything necessarily has to happen to make you say that question, right? Or to make you ask that question.
Yes, because there has to be okay. You know who you can or can't trust, and you know how much you can trust them. If it's a person that you're with, and there's just a slither of doubt in your mind for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Something happened.
Well, maybe not. So if I'm Eddie Murphy, and what is his net worth? What is Mr. Eddie Murphy's net worth?
I bet you, and as far as Mel B concerned, in her calculations, his net worth is got it.
And he has a net worth of $200 million, right? So now let's adjust for 11 years and go back and say 2009, his net worth was 150. If you've got $150 million, that's 150 million reasons not to trust a chick you slept with. And especially if she ain't your wife.
No, I get that. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think she's mad. I don't think it's a case of she's still mad. Oh, let me dance around this. What I have found in talking to men who have children and they are no longer in a relationship with their children's mother, and women who have children who are no longer in the relationship with their children's father, the women tend to carry a feeling that that man is and forever will be responsible for her. Not the child, but her.
Okay.
I've seen dudes go through it, but theirs typically doesn't last as long. Right? Like in the dude, it manifests when he get mad when she starts seeing somebody else. And then he's like, I don't want that dude around my kids. Like, come on, bruh. You know that ain't about them kids. You know that you don't like the idea of somebody smashing your baby mom, right? With women, I have seen it in my experience. It manifests in I can't pay my light bill and he is going to the movies every weekend, right? Your light bill is your business.
Right.
I'm really only responsible for whatever percentage of human being that my child holds in your house. So if it's 4 people living in your house and I only have 1 child in there, I'm really only responsible for 50% of 25% of your power bill.
Yeah, but that don't get the lights back on. If y'all sitting in the dark.
From her mindset, I get that. But from my mindset, that's not my problem. If you have a problem with keeping your lights on, bring the kids to me until you can get your lights turned back on.
Right. Yeah. But then, I mean, and there's some brothers that don't want to deal with it at all.
I know about that too. And also, actually, I probably won't ever really be able to talk about that.
Okay.
Maybe in another 10 years, I'll be able to talk about that.
Yeah.
And that's less about retribution to me and more about who that conversation will affect negatively. And I don't want to do anything to hurt.
No, I feel you.
Who's involved. Ooh, did I dance around that enough?
Let's give him dance shoes on there, boy.
I'm ready for Dancing with the Stars.
Right? Mike was like, yeah, me. Oh, yeah, he done very well.
Look, while we're just kind of talking and just shooting the shit, we picked up a few extra subscribers last week. And so thank you to everybody who's joined on the Unpopin community. How do they get a NetGator, T?
So what you need to do is you can email us or just DM us on one of our social media platforms. It's at Unpopin Show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And just let us know where you want to send it. Send us your, email, mailing address, and we will get it out to you. No charge at all. We take care of the shipping, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Big shout out.
The NetGator is free. Shipping is $54.99.
Somebody actually said that on Instagram. It was like, oh, we got to pay for the shipping. I'm like, no, man. It's just we take care of all that. But thanks for the engagement. You know what I mean? There's been quite a few. Oh, Rambro. Couple birthdays, a couple of homies' birthdays happened this week, but Steve Johnson, my homie Steve Johnson, and Rambro there in Atlanta, a very talented engineer. I learned a lot of mixing styles and technique from him. Rambro birthday passed this week, and I hit him up, and he's checked out and subscribed to the show too. So. Rambro, thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you checking in.
You know who had a birthday last week?
What's that?
Aunt Mac. You remember Aunt Mac?
Miggity. What up, boy? Happy birthday, homie. He had hit me. He DM'd me a couple of months ago. He heard my voice on a commercial. He was like, "Is that you?" Like, yeah. He was like, "Man, 20 years later, I still recognize your voice." It was a national spot that I did that he put into the system with the station where he works at. He had, dropped it in the system. He was like, "That sounded like T-Storm."
That was my man. We used to hang when I was out in LA. He was doing his thing out there, doing a lot of podcast work. I think he was working on Rolanda Watts' podcast, and some other ones. So happy birthday, brother. And let me shout out Soul Star Music Lover, who joined us in the Unpopin community. I'm going to guess that Soul Star is a she. She, I'm guessing, comments, "I just stumbled across your channel and a hilarious interview with our girl, Tracy Braxton. This is a really good show and funny. We'll definitely subscribe and tune in." And then she said, and the ball co-host is kind of cute. He reminds me of my ex-boyfriend, which it goes to show she watched the interview.
Right. Yeah.
Me saying that Tracy reminded me of my ex-girlfriend during the show. So thank you, Soul Star Music Lover. Okay. Now we go back up, and then she says, and I would love for you to reach back out to us and give me some clarity on this. She watched the after show of that episode, after show episode 19. She says, "I saw the entire interview and they were combative, judgmental, and ill-informed. It was embarrassing to say the least. I chalk it up to not being seasoned talk show hosts." So I'm guessing she meant we were combative with each other.
That's a first. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember what we actually talked about on that one.
On the after show, we talked about Busta Rhymes' new album.
Yeah, we talked about Nia Long a lot, and we talked about the Queens with Cocktails and Ice Cube fallout. So yeah, Soul Star, give me some context. I'm open to criticism, and I like to hear when people have something to say. But what that actually put me in mind of, T, wasn't that particular episode, because when I saw that comment, I thought about the episode where we talked about Ice Cube.
Okay.
And I got to be honest, I was editing it, and that was the most civil argument I've ever had in my life. We were polar opposites in opinion, but it was very respectful. Right. I personally think it was a good model of how you can have a conversation about the information, completely disagree, and it not degenerate to name calling and all of that stuff.
Like that's the oh, you don't know shit. Fuck, I'm talking to you, foe. We ain't gotta go there.
Right.
Yeah,
I was editing that thing, man, and I was like, damn, that was a civil goddamn argument. Because
yeah, no, I mean, you know what I like about doing this with you, Mike? We don't agree on everything. And you my dude, you know what I'm saying? There's like you said, you can have disagreements, you can have differences of opinion and still be civil about it. A lot of people need to learn that. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I try to practice in my real life as well. You know, me and my wife and I, we don't always agree on everything. When we argue, I can't even say we argue because I'm not one that likes to argue. I like to get my point across. But if I feel like the volume and the temperature is getting to a place where it is not going to be good, I cut it. You know what? Let's come back to this. Or I can't change your mind. So this is what I believe. This is what it is. You believe this. I understand your point of view, but I don't agree with it. Here's what I believe. And we can leave it at that. And at some point, maybe would have a change of heart, a change of mind, and what we was, maybe not. But like you said, and I think a lot of people could, could learn from that, to take that sort of approach when dealing with someone that doesn't have your same point of view.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So thank you, Soul Star, for pointing that out. We appreciate it. And who else? Big shots to Dale Ramsey for joining us.
That's Ram, bro.
I don't want to butcher this young lady's name. I'm not even gonna try. But she watched the Tracy Braxton interview and she thought it was funny. This interview is very funny. So we appreciate that. Thank you for watching. And make sure you subscribe and like T said, shoot us an email or drop us an inbox on one of our social platforms and we'll get you some swag.
Yep.
And thanks for being a part of what we're doing.
Yeah. Also, I'll put the blast out about this because I just figured out how to do it. We are, you can find us on the Alexa apps now. I have to be careful not to say it because she's listening. If you just say, hey, Alexa, play Unpopular Opinions Show, it'll come right up. In fact, I'll do it. What the hell? Alexa, play Unpopular Opinions Show.
She's thinking.
That's not it. Wrong one. No, that's not it. Hey, Alexa, play Unpopular Opinions Show. You have to be really.
Unpopular Opinion Show. Hashtag Unpopin Show from Amazon Music. Resuming Unpopin F1E19 Tracy Braxton _2.
And there it is. Alexa, cancel. Hey, we there. Mama, we made it.
Dude, that's big. That's real big.
Yeah. So, do that. You can find us on your smart devices as well.
Speaking of big,
okay.
K Michelle is celebrating her ass removal,
the reduction of her buttocks.
Yeah. So I'm not super familiar with that shit.
Okay.
My ex used to idolize K Michelle. And that's pretty much all I know is that K Michelle existed as someone in pop culture.
K Michelle has a lot popping behind her. And some of it had been enhanced. She had done surgically. And she had, she had made some headlines over the years about, getting the enhancements that she got and that it wasn't healthy and something had happened. And so she had been talking about getting it removed. But this has been going on for a couple of years now. So I would have thought she got it all removed by now, unless it was that much ass, and it was that much ass, that she has to have. Hopefully she's doing it safely and comes out healthy on the other side of it. But she she had a change of heart, change of mindset of why she had gotten that surgery, and has been taking steps and been speaking out against doing that sort of thing to your body. Unfortunately, there was I remember seeing a lot of headlines and young women going to the back rooms or whatever to have that surgery done, with everything from the tire filler, fix a flat and all types of stuff, and somebody actually passed away from it. I hope hopefully she's all right when she gets it all done. I'm sure she'll be fine. But yeah, she's been talking about getting that removed for a long time.
So I think she's been in the process of doing it for a long time, and she's finally at the point where she's going to do um, the final surgery. I'm searching for a visual aid here so people can be on the same page. And apologies for not speaking directly into the mic just now. There we go.
Yeah, that's it looks cartoonish. That's the other side of it too. Like it
That big
didn't.
old butt and them little bitty legs.
Yeah, and she's not tall. She's a little bitty thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, she wore it well, but Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's yeah. Hope I'm glad she's come to her senses and is doing what she needs to do to have that done safely, to remove that safely.
All right. So here comes the part where people don't like me.
Let's get this prepared. Where is it? Bear with me. Bear with me. This just God dog it. Ready?
Yeah. She had to know that wasn't a good idea before she did it. Right. So, and here's let me read her statement, and that'll make my comment make a little bit more sense. Quote: woke up to great news about my reconstructive surgery. It's finally this month in a couple of weeks. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay. This journey has been one of the most difficult tasks that God has assigned to me. Ladies, I don't care who's telling you what. Don't play around with your body. Injections are illegal for a reason. So
illegal.
To me,
okay, depends on what kind of injection she's talking about. The back room basement with people that are not doctors, that is definitely illegal, and it's really silly to do in the first place.
Yes.
Putting fixed flat. That come on.
The ladies, I don't care who's telling you what. Don't play around with your body line. Mm-hmm. To me, speaks on lack of personal accountability. It sounds as if, and I could be wrong, I don't know her, but it sounds as if she's trying to insinuate that she did that to her body because somebody else was telling her that she did too.
Yeah, I hear that.
Implants, plastic surgery has been around forever. We've known forever how dangerous it is, especially with even with something like breast implants. There have been those have burst and silicone has poisoned people's system, and we know how dangerous that is. The danger of going on under anesthesia that could end badly, right? So it's a certain amount of, you knew all of that and still moved forward, that you have to be accountable for. And even if you are operating from, or maybe not even if you are operating from a state of diminished capacity, okay, I hear you then, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't seem to be the case here.
I mean, I think, okay, how I took it, and I hear your point on it. Ultimately, it is your decision. What you do with your body, it is ultimately your decision. But yes. I do understand that, you have people in your life that can help influence those decisions. And she's probably taking it from, how I take it is that she's coming from a place of where friends or whoever was around her at the time was like, yeah, girl, get that. You should do that. And she decided to do it. You know what I mean? That's how I took it. But you're right. Ultimately, it's your decision that it's on you. If it all goes wrong, it's you that got to live with it or not.
Right. And let me say for the record, I am very glad nothing bad happened to her. I am very glad that she has made the decision to do what sounds like a very difficult thing to better her health. And I'm even more glad that her message is don't go do this that I did.
Right.
Then we get to the second part of her statement.
Oh boy.
Or the last part of her statement that I was privy to. And this, I think, just drove me nuts. And it was in combination with a lot of stuff that I was reading when I was getting ready for the show. It drove me nuts. Her statement. This is why I'm so excited that Lifetime TV has given me the opportunity to produce a show to tell women the truth. And last but not least, thank you to my doctor. I'm not going to do his thing. The king of the butt and silicone removal. Let's get it. Now, I know it's her pain. She can do with it what she will. But doesn't it cheapen her message just a little bit for her to use that, her pain and everything, to push a platform for a new show?
I mean, unless that's her MO in the first place. I mean, hey, listen.
I think it is.
What music has she had out lately? I don't know. Listen.
She puts out music. I'm not trying to be funny. I literally have no idea who this person is. I might though. I think I have a recollection of an interview I watched with her.
Mike says she puts out music.
Oh, I know who she is. I know who she is.
She puts out music. Yes, that's funny. Yeah. What was the she had a song that girls were attempting to sing like her, but what was it? The I call it I get her mixed up with Keisha Cole. No, oh boy. K. Michelle and Keisha Cole. I'll stop. I get their music mixed up, so I'll leave it there. But
yeah, I used to have a weird damn crush on Keisha Cole. It was just something about Keisha Cole that just Obviously, I have a type, right?
Yeah. I think we all do. Everyone, has their own preference of, real life and fantasy.
Everyone has their own preference of torture. My type is usually torturous to me.
She comes with whips and chains. I'll take it.
No, so talking about her put me in remembrance of why I do know who she is. In 2019, she did an interview with Frank and Wanda at V103 in Atlanta, WVEE, the People Station. And in that interview, she said, I don't think that men are good people.
Wow.
And yes. And doubled down on it and went in. And I'm not going to play it here because it'll get us flagged, but I will link to it either below in the description or I'll put a card up top where you can click it and go watch it. But she just went in on men. Men suck just as a gender. They're not good people. And then Frank and Wanda had her back on with Derek Jackson. I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Derek Jackson.
No, who's that exactly?
He's a YouTuber who basically he does women's empowerment stuff.
Derek Jackson does. Okay.
Those in the manosphere view him as a panderer to women.
Okay.
But he was brought on to kind of talk to her about what's going on with you, blah, 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 blah. And that didn't very well. Um, and I'll also link to that one below. Sorry. Ooh, I just went down a very deep rabbit hole from K. Michelle's ass to her opinions about men. Sorry about that.
No problem. VSOP songs I remember. VSOP and Can't Raise a Man was K. Michelle hits. Some of her hits that you may or may not know.
I do not know them. I'm sorry. But
Um,
honestly, that's not a reflection on her. That's a reflection on me because I am old and out of touch when it comes to music.
Okay. She got some joints out there. Fun, and she's fun to watch on stage.
Fair enough.
At least she was with the butt injections. That was always fun to watch.
I don't like it. Right? Like
like breast implants, and nothing against breast implants, women that have them or whatever. If it looks real, if it doesn't look like balloons, fun to watch. You can't tell the difference. But when they're out of like completely ridiculously out of proportion, if you got silicone that looks like this, look like a damn cup under your shit. That ain't sexy at all. Looks like a football.
So from an overthinking it intellectual standpoint, what usually is attractive and alluring is proper proportions and feminine curves, right? And that's stripping away a lot of stuff and boiling it down and not taking into account the individual and what they like. When you 95 pounds with 185-pound person's ass, it's out of proportion.
There was and I'm probably not going to be able to find it, but on the flip side, there was a dude that I don't know did some sort of injections or whatever for muscles,
boy.
And it looked just as ridiculous. I'm probably not going to be able to find it online right now.
I'm Googling as we speak.
I'm sure he wasn't the only one, but oh my God. Cat, I saw it was on social media somewhere. Somebody had posted it up. I'm like, the hell happened to this dude? What is that supposed to be?
Let's go through this. Because some of this shit don't look so bad, and some of it's like, dude, you're a ridiculous human. Like here.
Where are we looking at?
Can you see me?
Okay, that's okay. That's the surgery. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
That's before and that's after.
Okay, that doesn't look ridiculous.
No, look like he got in the gym,
Yeah. Okay.
But this, before, after.
Like a damn ice tray. A lopsided ice tray. Like what? Like what the hell? No, the one I saw was even worse than that, dude. It was worse. It was like super big and balloon-like on his arm, lopsided. I was like, oh.
Look at this guy. I just can't.
No. I didn't.
I would
wow.
never, ever. Oh, this guy? Is this what you're talking about?
It was worse than that, but yeah, something like that. Oh,
He
why would
has
you?
3 pounds of dead muscle removed. Ugh. All right.
Yeah, I'm getting creeped out. That doesn't.
I just,
There was one that was more extreme than that I saw.
yeah.
Why people?
Look, let's be responsible. And the responsible message here is if you want to lose weight, if you want to tone up, watch your diet, get a proper diet, get proper rest, proper hydration, and a regular exercise regimen. Start there. Once you get going, you might want to enlist the help of a trainer to help you. Like if you're sculpting, if your body's sculpting, go ahead and enlist the help of a trainer and help you body sculpt.
It all boils down to work. Do the work.
Do the work. My fat ass ain't done the work.
Here. And every time I try to do the work, I hurt myself. Like I start and hurt myself. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. That just means I need to figure out at my age now, I got to do things differently. I'm not 20 anymore. So I got to change the way I work. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can see this. I have a boot on. Oh, see this? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. And that came from doing yard work and flip-flops. In the backyard with flip-flops on, doing yard work, and stepped in a hole in the grass, whatever. My foot twisted, and I don't know what I did, but it happened like several weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. And I hobbled around like, it'll go away, and it didn't go away. And I realized that I was riding my bike the other day. I rode my bike. I went to go put air on my tire, and I didn't have the attachment for it. And the cat at the gas station flattened my damn tire. I was so mad. I'm like, I got to walk it home. So I'm walking, and my foot is hurting. I'm like, yeah, I need to check this out. So and they took X-rays. It was like, we don't see anything broken, but you may have a hairline fracture. Hey, put this boot on for a couple of weeks, and that's what I'm doing. So, and the shit where it's heavy as hell. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. There's no way to walk fast in this damn thing. You have I got a serious pimp stroll with it. Like, if I try to do the regular New York walk, I got to be somewhere quick type shit, I'll pop my damn knee out. So you got to walk a certain kind of way in this damn boot, man. So.
And the moral of the story is put on some goddamn shoes.
It, man. Listen, I ain't have to do yard work when I was coming up. I lived in Brooklyn.
Fair enough.
A bourbon shit
every weekend.
I never had to rake leaves before like that. Like, what are we doing here? What are we talking about? You ain't raking no leaves. Not like that. It'll just stay there. It'll go away next year. Anyway, yeah.
So, go ahead.
One of the last stories we talked about before we started here, I thought was pretty cute, interesting, I should say. Keke Palmer was in the news last week for showing some affection to what some of her followers labeled as a colonizer. He's kissing a colonizer. She kissed the white boy on camera, and I don't know if I can't even remember. I remember seeing the footage of it, but I don't know if what was it supposed to be for? If it was for a video, or she was just kind of out, and that was somebody that she's seeing. I can't remember the context of it, but the footage.
The context and the post was rare footage of me in the process of becoming randomly suspicious of someone I trust because I struggle with distinguishing reality from my crippling anxiety and emotional trauma. So I don't know what she's referring to. Obviously, she has some issues that she's either dealt with in the past or is still dealing with. But to me, the photo or the video was about her in a space of self-awareness and awakening, which is kind of deep, right? To go back and look at something from your past and understand what's going on with you, the operation of your mind in that time, and how that moment could have been a significant negative thing in your life or a significant positive thing, whatever. But that's kind of deep, right? And impressive to me.
Yeah.
But our friends on the internet, they were more concerned that it was a white dude than her mental awakening.
You know, they boil it down to the simplest thing. She kissed the white boy. Colonizer. And I think she would get flack for it because she had been so vocal in Black Lives Matter and all that. And in people's minds, you can't do both. You can't be non-discriminatory in who you are affectionate with and still be for the betterment of Black people. Just really
every white person does not want the downfall of Black people. Every Black person doesn't want the propagation of Black people. So to paint with broad brushes and say every Black person is for the cause and every white person isn't is intellectually lazy, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about people who are dragging her. But here is the picture that she's catching all of the flack from, and shout out to the Jasmine brand. Whether I wanted to shoot out to her or not, there we go.
Yeah, Demi Lobo, one of the sisters over there at the Jasmine brand that writes for Jasmine brand.
Okay, dope.
That's it's not even that serious. I think because it was like a peck, if I remember, because was it a video? Because
I think it was a video, and I didn't want to run the video because I didn't want to deal with copyright crap.
Fair enough.
I'll find it and link it. I'm sure somebody has it out there.
I see a lot of people, and she responded to the backlash. She posted, I see a lot of people living one way but voted another. And then a fan responded to her, like you? Oh, it's no shade at all, love. I still rocks with you, but you kissing that colonizer, etc., wasn't the move in this time right now. But again, if it's not that, then it's on me. I'm grown to admit that.
Can we talk about the larger issue here?
Yeah.
There are a number of people in our community who will say, I don't like white people. Right? All of them.
Right.
But then have an issue when a white person says, I don't like Black people, all of them. Like, you understand you're being the same person, right? So knowing nothing about this man in the video, knowing nothing about the relationship, having no context, that response that person gave her just took him because he was white and put him in a colonizer bucket. Thank you, Black Panther, for that. Put him in that bucket and positioned her in a negative light for kissing this dude. But we don't know nothing about this guy. We're just supposed to not like him and be mad at her just because he's white?
That's not the first time that's happened.
No, it's not.
I mean, that we've seen that happen in regular real life. It'd just be a random sister with a white dude maybe out on a date, and she'll get funny looks just cause, or vice versa. A brother with a white girl and black women will look at him like, look at that. You know what I mean?
Not me. I said, go on get your white girl, bro.
Wilson would say, they just mad. They don't want that man happy. That's why should he be happy? No. Shout out to Steve Wilson. What up, fam? But nah, I mean, so it's okay. So that dynamic has been going on for a long time. It's not just with Keke Palmer. That happens in general a lot. I think there are some nuances that can't be ignored. Clearly, because of the history of slavery and all that it produced in terms of interracial dating, you know what I'm saying, being illegal, or black men being killed for being with the white woman or being accused of being, you know what I'm saying? So that's I'm sure that plays a lot into what people are thinking when they see interracial dating as well, especially for black people. You know what I mean? And it's a false equivalency to say it's the same person for somebody to say I'm not saying it's right, or that it's right, but for a person of color to say I don't like all white people, I don't like white people, period, and for a white person to say I don't like black people, it's not necessarily the same thing. It is, but there are some nuances to it that people of color, we don't have the advantage of white privilege to, you know what I'm saying, for a person, but especially say a person that is able to, and I don't think I'm articulating this well at all, but a person that works in a school that says I don't like all black people, but you're teaching black students, and so that kind of curves how you treat, students of color versus white kids. I don't think that necessarily happens the same way when it's on the other foot, when it's because you don't have room to be that prejudice, while Caucasian people can and do.
I don't understand that.
I'm saying you can't get away with the same things white folks get away with, bottom line.
Okay. Yes. However, in terms of being prejudiced, we get away with more than they do.
Okay.
You can openly go out and say, white men are the source of all suffering in the world. And some white people will look at you and go, fair point. But if a white person was to say that about black people, that wouldn't happen.
There would be no truth to it. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like that. I'm not saying that statement about white is entirely factual, but there is something there. Versus saying that about black folks there is absolutely no truth to it because we don't have that same power.
But the level of truth is irrelevant, right? If a white person went out and said, black folks in the 90s kill more of each other than heart disease, there's some truth to that.
Okay.
But they couldn't say that shit, right? Like, so it's the expression of it that makes it equal. I agree with you that the history absolutely does play a part in it. And to be frankly honest, I didn't even think about that until you said it. So the history of our suffering in this country, sure, that absolutely plays a part in people's perceptions and how they would respond. But I think when you strip it away and you look at the least common denominator and the core, when we take the paint with a broad brush blanket stance and say this group is this or this group is that, it invalidates our position when we tell other groups not to do that to us. The first thing they say is, how you gonna tell me not to do that and you just called me a colonizer last week?
For honestly, and I hear where you're going with it, but for everything to be even, we all have to be equal. And that's currently not where society or where the world is right now. Who's to say that it'll ever get there? But we're not on equal planes. So for me to say, I don't like white boys, period, it's not the same as a white person saying the same thing about black people. We're not on, we're really not on equal planes. And the
power dynamic suggests that they are in a position to do something about how they feel, whereas you are not. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. I can see that. I'll say this and then leave it alone.
Okay, go ahead.
I was listening to the late great Patrice O'Neal. And I'm going to have to stop listening to him because he gets me in trouble. He's not here and hasn't been here for 9 years and he gets me in trouble. Never knew the man, but he gets me in more trouble than I could ever get my own self in. But during his time, he did a lot on the Opie and Anthony radio show, which is two very white guys. And he was often the only black voice in the room. And he made an astute point a few times on that show. He said, when black people say we don't like white people, we're not talking about the guy who's going to work or the guy you see in the post office. We're talking about people with power and money. So unfortunately, you look like the mofo with the power and the money, and you get thrown in that bucket. Right. Which he says it way funnier and way more insightfully than I do. So I invite you to go and search him and look it up. But there is something to that. I think our issue, the Latino community, the Asian community, and the low earning, low income, impoverished white community. Issues aren't necessarily with racial groups, but with the 1%, 2%, 5% that hold 95% of the wealth in this country. And I'm probably off with those statistics, but I'm probably closer than you think. So I think it's more of an access to money, power, betterment, lifestyle, a better lifestyle than it is not liking a person because of their color. And then when the narrative becomes there's limited resources. Okay, there's limited jobs. There's not enough jobs, and it's not enough money, and it's not enough this and that to go around. Infighting begins. The only reason I don't have is because your group has. So I think a certain amount of that narrative drives a lot of the negative feelings between groups, and I think a lot of that could go away in our lifetimes. Now, there's some people who just goddamn don't like you because you're black. There ain't nothing you can do about that person. But I think it's a lot of false impressions and really just kind of going through this political season, just talking to people who think differently than me. I've noticed that. Like, you have no idea what's really affecting my community. Let me tell you, right? Because when we sat down, you didn't think negatively about me. You didn't think any kind of way. So let's start from there. And let me tell you, here are the things that are actually happening in my community. And then I got to hear things that were actually happening in theirs. I'm like, wow, we're not that far apart.
Yeah. It's the illusion of whiteness has been. No, I mean, just call it what it is. I mean, and a lot of people, I've seen the argument and that race is a man-made construct. We do have differences, but race was created to Africans were brought to this country to be slaves because there's no escaping the color of your skin. They tried to enslave, initially enslaved Native Americans, who would rather die than be slaves, or other white people that that simply were able to get away and and blend in. But Africans, you look different, so you'll forever be. We know who you are before you even open your mouth. So that's how it is. When you walk into the room, first thing you see is, any case, all that to say, the illusion of, of whiteness or whatever, was started to keep poor white folks on the side of rich white folks. And how I heard it explained was, they were saying, no matter what, you may be poor, you may not have much, may not have anything, but at least you're white. You're on our side. When really, poor white folks have more, in common with black folks than
poor people have more in common with poor people, lived experiences. Dude, I can't tell you the number of people that are not from this country that I've talked to, spent time with, and spent time around, that I have more in common with than people who grew up and were born and lived in this country. Because when I start talking about how they came up and how poor they were and how they struggled, I'm like, shit, that sounds like my life, Yeah. So, yeah, I think we just gotta, I don't know. I was about to say something that was fucking puppies and rainbows, so I stopped that.
All the racist folks need to die out. That's where it needs to go. Folks like
they should give fewer fucks. They should give fewer fucks. Look, you cannot like me for who I am. In fact, I'd rather you hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not, right? You can just look at me and be like, I hate that dirty nigga. That's cool. You have the right to feel that way. Just don't get in my way. Let the next part of your statement be, so I'm just going to go somewhere else and not deal with him. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but that's also not realistic because, we have to deal with each other on some level, because that same person you may see in a bank as your loan officer or police, more realistically, police officer, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much more. And that prejudice plays into how they do their job.
I think you're never, ever, ever going to get rid of prejudice. I think if as a world community, we conquered prejudice over skin color, it would be height next. It would be smile or hair. It would be something, right? So I think this, and I was about to preface it with saying someone who's far more educated to speak on this should speak on this. But I think we have a natural thing where we want to be in and around people who look like us or we are familiar with on some kind of level, right? It's that bonding, communing, tribal kind of thing.
Listen, let me tell you.
I think if we just say we're a world tribe and color doesn't matter, we'll find something else. We'll find something else.
Where you from? Like, listen, there's been times, back when I was traveling, get on the, if you on an airplane or wherever, and there's not many brown folks, I'm looking for at least one. Let's see. And if it's a brother, we usually give each other the head nod, like, we ain't got to know each other. We just connected right there, just like, I see you. All right, cool. All right, I ain't alone here. You know what I'm saying? And when I went to Jamaica for my honeymoon, like the last time I went to Jamaica, I felt so comfortable knowing that the police were black everyone that lived there, you know what I'm saying, was black. If, like, I felt like how white folks feel in America.
Yes. And
I'm like,
that's what I was going to say. That search, look, and head nod comes from being a minority group. That's what it comes from. Like, white people don't do that. Because they don't have to. Everywhere they look is their people. It's cool. But anyway, we've probably gotten ourselves in enough trouble on that topic.
yeah, look for some hate mail. Hey, if you have something to say about it, please say it in the comments or send us an email or Instagram comment. Unpopin Show, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. We could wrap it up, and if you're still watching, check out the after show. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, but our new president-elect has been accepted by the current White House occupant. I'm betting by the time you hear this, he'll have started some other weird shit. But it's okay because we will forever have this statement.
Trump is the bad president.
And he's not gonna be able to dodge that one. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe our YouTube, Unpopin Show on YouTube, or just go to our website, unpopinshow.com, and find us. Find the YouTube link from there and subscribe and become a part of this Unpoppin community. And we're on Alexa now. So just ask for us by name, Unpopular Opinions Show on all Amazon devices. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace. See you at the after show.
Deuces. Thanks for checking out the Unpopular Opinion Show. If you like this content, make sure you like, subscribe, and smash the notification button down below so you can keep getting more from T-Storm and myself.
Yeah, more jokes coming on. No, they beeped. Damn it. Okay, fine.